everybody, and welcome back to Breaktime Conversations, a YouTube channel where I have conversations around education. I have been a teacher all my life, and education fascinates me. Along my journey, I have met so many interesting and inspiring people, and so I decided to document my conversations with them here so that you too can hear their stories and the amazing work that they do. I'm here today with Deepika Venkatesh. She's currently working as a subject lead and a senior school educator at an international school right here in Bangalore. She switched careers from being a senior risk and regulatory affairs analyst at Deloitte to the field of education with an aim of magnifying sustainable education. She believes in encompassing progressive teaching and learning techniques in classrooms for a sustainable education. Wow, Deepika, what an amazing profile! And that you made this huge shift. So, there's a lot of sustainable education in your introduction. Why don't you start by telling us what is sustainable education?
Thank you, Anupa, first off, for your beautiful initiative. So, starting about what exactly is sustainable education, I'll start off like this. So, teaching and learning are always on the same boat, which we all educators believe in. So, at the end of the day, teaching that focuses on outcome will let us, make informed decisions. So, sustainable education concentrates on what is beyond the theoretical concepts present in our textbooks. So, it concentrates on things like pragmatism, grit, determination. So, it basically helps us enforce the right mindset in learners to become better individuals in the society and for the society. That's about sustainable education.
Wow, that's really interesting. I mean, we know all these words, but we've never really put it together to understand that it's actually sustainable education. So, why? I mean, why do we need this kind of sustainable education? Why do you think, Deepika?
So, Anupa, see, I'll tell you based on my experience, all right? I have attended various campus placements and in-person interviews after my master's. Every interview I have attended had rounds based on elimination. So typically, it starts off with the first few rounds being group discussions, tests on logical reasoning, communication, and then moving ahead to situational based rounds, which will again test us on change management, skills to accept the change, whether we are able to work as a team, whether we are able to solve problems, and various different scenarios. So the last few rounds used to focus on technical aspects where the actual knowledge in our subject was tested. So in order to get to the technical round and give the theoretical answers, we have to go through all these set of rounds. And all of these rounds, all these first set of rounds, which completely focused on nothing but the 21st century skills, which we call them these days, right? And that is why my concentration is on sustainable education, where a student is developed in a holistic manner. So, as much as academics is important and score grades are very important because they are like the entry ticket to the higher studies and placements. Absolutely agree. But at the same time, one of the main focus areas of professional world and even higher education institutes are all these elements which make students stalwarts of the society, be better individuals for the society. That's that's the reason why I started emphasizing on sustainable education as such.
Yeah, brilliant. I mean, I so resonate with all that you say because when I look back, I don't think we learned any of these things in school, right? And even the information that we learned, we learned in such a, whatever way that completely forgot everything as soon as we finished school, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah,
So
and we
true.
also keep reading about how unemployable most of our students are because they don't have these schools. And it's interesting. Thank you for sharing your experience. It's interesting to know that your actual knowledge came only towards the end, right? Everything else
Right.
was in the very interesting. Thank you for sharing that. So what do you do in your classrooms? Like you're saying you're emphasizing on this. What do you do in your classrooms to bring about this sustainable education that you're talking about?
So Anupa, answering this question, it's always a good practice for us as educators to decipher those challenges around, and let it be global challenges or let it be the challenges which we are seeing around, right, around us in local, and train our learners um, in that towards facing those challenges. So in my classes, I typically begin the academic year by taking an interactive session. For example, introducing them to a structured thought process where I start off with a simulation based activity, uh, which concentrates on brain training, and then go on by giving them facts about how our brain is soft wired and it is not hardwired, and it can expand irrespective of the age, where there's this famous quote which says, you can teach old dog new tricks. So these kind of uh, activities will make them realize the importance of learning new things, moving out of their comfort zones, creating new pathways, and developing positive habits. Well, on the other hand, also a few more elements which I bring in to attain sustainable education is, if it is a 45-minute session, for example, I don't take the entire 45 minutes. So I curate sessions in such a way that they either include an open discussion on current happenings or related to any topic which is being uh, taught in the class, which is being explained, and also showing them videos or sharing real time scenarios explaining why we are studying a particular concept. Right, and questioning on some of the new terms which they are completely new to, and encouraging them to answer to those new terms as to what it is. I just say it's okay, you can be completely wrong. In this manner, it will also ensure to build that confidence, zeal to learn, and the critical thinking mindset, I'm sorry. So these are a couple of things, and to add on few more examples also is by observing every learner and understanding their interests, and once in a while discussing topics where they feel excited, and they provide insights, will kind of make them communicate and builds determination, because not every learner or every student in our class is the same, right? Couple of them don't speak up, they don't usually communicate, they are very calm. That doesn't mean they don't know, we really don't know what is running in their brains. So in such kind of scenarios, what I do just to bring out that zeal, where they can relate to a particular topic. For example, one of my students is very interested in Formula One. So somehow I got to know that is his interest, but he usually never talks. So, based on my observations, one day I brought up a topic related to Formula One, and then he started speaking up with a lot of excitement in his eyes, and that's when that bubble broke. So these kind of small gestures, and I will wrap up with this last example. I write them in once in a year or once in a while, individual letters of gratitude, acknowledging and appreciating their presence. Which that each one is unique, and I acknowledge their uniqueness. These kind of gestures, it it shows them that social camouflaging is not at all an answer. So these are a couple of things which I do in terms of
So
classroom.
lovely. So lovely, Deepika. I think it's so important in today's world for a teacher to be able to connect with the student, and try to find, like, come to common grounds with them. I think in a world where we're also disconnected these days. I mean, imagine we're having this conversation online. So
Yeah.
I think that's amazing. So did you stumble upon this by chance? I mean, like, this whole concept, is it something that through trial and error you came up with this, and is it still work in progress?
It's still work in progress. I'm still learning. I started this journey, I think, 2 years back. So even I'm in a position to learn more. Uh, few of them are, few of the experiments that I do in classrooms are trial and error, because at the end of the day, they either give a very positive impact or they leave no impact. Like a couple of students might not, I mean, many of the students might not resonate with what I'm doing in some of the classes. So based on those, I will remove those activities and proceed forward with, any other uh,
Very
new
nice.
activities next time.
Very, very nice. So before we end our conversation, just wanted to ask, what are your future plans? Like, you've come this far and you have so many wonderful stories already. What how do you want to take this forward?
So my future plans, as of now, my complete concentration is on learning the field of education, since I feel I'm still new. And yes, I do have a lot of things running in my in the back of my head, but I'm trying to execute them. And I've realized till 2 years back, I was very confused, Anupa, as to okay, I came in from a different world. I was in a different world. Um, to be frank, I had offer letter from a corporate, and then I had offer letter from school, and then from a college. So I was so confused. I'm not so proud of it, but at that point in time, I was very confused. And then I just went with my guts to choose school and education, and then now I realize that this is it. So I want to continue that. This
Right.
is it a long
Yeah,
way,
yeah.
and I hope as an educator I will learn more from leaders like you and execute a lot of things.
Very nice. I think as long as you have that attitude of learning, which you said you're still learning, um, you will go far. So don't ever lose that. Just keep that desire to learn. Deepika, thank you so much for being here, for sharing your views. So interesting to hear about this whole sustainable education concept. And I hope that through this video, it will reach far and wide, and that many teachers will also realize the importance of this. Thank you, Deepika, and all the best.
Thank you, Anupa. My sincere gratitude to you for having me today to have a conversation with you. I really appreciate your thought process in sharing these perspectives for the field of education. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. That means a lot to me. Thank you. Bye for now, Deepika. Bye bye.